What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 80, first episode of 2024. And this is for UFC Vegas 84. I'm your host, Narco Cop, along with my co-host here, Timothy Troiano. Timothy, how are you doing? How is your new year? I know you've been working a lot, but are you ready to do this damn thing in 2024?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. This card's a little tricky, but I think they got some really good cards coming up, and I'm excited to hear what you got on this one. Maybe we can find some good spots together.
Yeah, man. First off, Happy New Year to everybody in chat, man. Already 60 people rocking and rolling in here. I appreciate each and every one of you, man. Last year, I mean, we broke records in here, man. 150 people at one point, like live viewers. It was just a great time. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you very, very much. I'll start with that. But then I am always going to start out with shouting each and everybody in my chat one by one. Zodiel Slinga, Narco the Goat, thank you. I appreciate you, my man. Mushroom, MMA, one more sleep, he says. Welcome back, UFC, man. I miss the UFC big time. What is up, my man? Bob Spyjerkins. Spyjerkins? Yeah, Spyjerkins. Did I say that right, Tim? Can you help me?
I think the J might be silent, I'm guessing.
Oh, Spikermans. I like it. All right. Sorry if I butchered that, my friend. But thank you for coming. He's watching the 1FC. Appreciate you. Arturo, bonjour, my friend. Thank you for joining. Jussie Q, happy Friday, my man. Happy Friday. Rusty, happy New Year, my friend. Thank you for joining. Glenbot is in the house. What is up? Joshua Frick, what is up, my man? Bro, it's been way too long. Way too long here. But we are back. What is up, Double Flush? If you haven't joined Narco's Discord, the time is now. With that being said, Hawes round 3 sub. Thank you for the shout out, Double Flush. Yeah, guys, link down below if you want to join my Discord, all my plays, everything. It's down in that link. It's $25 a month. Live spaces, by the way, guys. It's going to be into my Discord going forward. So, it's just one thing that I thought I was going to do in 2024. So if anybody wants to join, it's down there. If you don't, I still appreciate all the love from each and every one of you. This show is going nowhere, so it's going to always be here. Victor De Jesus, what is up, my friend? Let's cash those tickets. Dixon, what's up, my friend? I love this, guys. Inshallah, I wonder who this is. Nick Juarez, we are back. It's been a long time. Yes, sir. It's been a very long time. Let's get it. J888. Ishu, what is up, my friend? Thank you for joining as well. Bunk Hoots, let's go, Narco 2024. Yes, sir, man. We are going to break more records in 2024. And it's not only the units we're going to break. We're going to break all types of records on this show. How are you doing, Kristen? Thank you for joining us. Victor De Jesus in the house. B. Riel also here. Who else we have here? Christian, missed you guys so much. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming back. Craig Crowley, let's cash some tickets. Yes, sir. Let's cash some tickets. Kevin, how you doing, my friend? Awesome, guys. First live one here. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining. Nacho Man Randy Savage is what is up, my brother. Daniel Lynn in the house. We got some characters. I love it. SC for all. I'm locked in, listening while in the shower. The man's taking a shower. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the listening here. Bill Norman, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining. Luke Golding as well. It's Judah. We're really out here, Narco. Let's go. Thank you for joining, man. I appreciate you. Matthew, also in the house. Thank you. Cheeky Elbow, also in the house. It's Big Dove. Long live Narco Cop MMA and Big Ten. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. LJ, the guys are back. Yes, sir. Joel S. Let's go, fellas. Grant, there will be blood as well. What is up, my man? Desi, back at it like a crack addict. All right. Let's go on. I think I went through everybody. Smash the like, guys. 108 already in here. I appreciate you guys very, very much. With that being said, Tim, we have to start out with the first fight of the night, and it is in the flyweight division. It is a 13-6 Felipe Bunes versus the 9-1 Joshua Van. And Tim, the first Lambo of 2024 is yours. Go ahead, my friend.
All right, so I think that this fight's interesting. I heard Van was talking about wanting to grapple a little bit. I don't like that. I think you posted about that as well on X, and I think that there's just a big striking advantage for Van. He's got just really good combinations, pressure fighter. He's shown that he's got grit and he can take a shot and keep coming. Good cardio, young dude. I'm not too sure about the Bunes on, the striking. I think he's like, all right. I don't think he's anything great, but he's mainly a grappler. He's shown that he's fought some good guys in the Russian scene, regional scene. And, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think his path is if Van actually does grapple or if he's able to, catch a kick and get him down or something like that and then sub him. I think that, if you're on Bunes, I would play his sub instead of the money line. And I think that I actually like Van in this fight. I think Van's going to cook him late in the fight. So give me Van KO1 or KO2 or KO3.
Yeah, I mean, interesting first matchup. It's actually a pretty good matchup here. The newcomer in Felipe Bunes, 34 years old, not really something you see in the UFC. Guy coming in the flyweight division at 34 years old, making his UFC debut. So it's kind of weird here. But, the guy is decently skilled, very, very dangerous on the ground. I will say that. Off his back, extremely dangerous guy. Like he's throwing in arm bars, triangles. I mean, very, very fast. His hips are very good. So he's locking up a lot of these fucking arm bars against these very good Russian grapplers. So he's extremely dangerous on the ground. I will give him that. Buenas, extremely dangerous. But on the feet, on the feet, he's explosive. Okay, he has dynamic striking. He throws big fucking wheel kicks. I mean, all types of crazy dynamic stuff. But the big problem with him on the feet is he's very open to be hit too. So he can get cracked on the feet. The other thing I noticed with him, in a lot of these fights against these Russians, right? There's a lot of grappling going on. They're getting him down. They're on top. Stuff like that, and he kind of feels comfortable on bottom, right? He's throwing up submissions. These guys are throwing some ground and pound, but they're also very scared not to get caught. So they're not really advancing position or trying to get to dominant positions because they don't want to get caught with some kind of submission. Now, with Joshua Van, the smart thing would do is to stand here, right? Stand with this guy. You're the much cleaner striker. He's got a lot of power in his hands. I love how he digs to the body against everybody, man. Like the digging to the body is just what I love to see from this guy, And the other thing I love with Joshua Van is he's very durable, man. Like I bet against him last time, Tim. I bet against him. I did not play him last time against Kevin Borjas. And, Kevin Borjas dropped him, but I think Kevin Borjas has way more power than Buenas. And I think Kevin Borjas is a lot more dangerous on the feet than Buenas is. I know Buenas has those, crazy things, but outside of that, it's not like he has good boxing. It's not like he has good leg kicks. Like Borjas has very good calf kicks as well. Like he's dangerous. He's just dangerous and he's very fucking durable. Not many people survive what Van put him through in round 3 with those body shots, and he barely made it through, honestly, especially round 2, end of round 2. That's where I think Buenas is going to get cooked. He's going to literally get destroyed to the body here against Van. And I think Van builds more in fights. Like he's good in round 1. I'm not saying he's terrible, but I think he builds later in fights. And the guy's 22 years old, guys. We're going to see improvements fight over fight over fight. He mixed in his grappling last time. Kind of don't want him to mix in grappling here, to be honest. But Van 2-3 KOs 450 on FanDuel. If you don't have FanDuel, then you play him separately. But I think he's gonna knock this guy out in round 2 or 3, man. I really do. I feel pretty confident. I gave this play out to my Discord earlier in the week. And I also have Moneyline Joshua Van. We got it in at minus 180. I gave it earlier in the week again. And this line has ballooned. We got a lot of CLV here. See what happens. But hey, he's up to 270 in some spots here. So Lots of CLV on this fight. So we'll see. I'm really impressed with Joshua, man. Like I said, I bet against him last time, so now I'm betting with him, because I really believe the kid has it, man. He has it. And he's a good prospect. Moving on. Fight number 2. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 6-0 Tom Nolan versus the 13-5 Nicholas Motta. And I will kick this one off. I like Tom Nolan here. I mean, Motta at this point, he's got a big left hook. He's got some power in his hands. His hooks are his money. His money punches are his hooks, right? And he hurts people with them. I'll give him that. He has power in them. But the guy's chin is clearly a big weakness of his. Watching Trey Ogden just maul this guy, whether it be in the stand-up, he was out-striking him, he was out-grappling him. He was winning that fight left, right, and center. So a guy like Trey Ogden, who normally wins on close margins, he's not really a guy that dominates people. He absolutely dominated Motta. Then you watched a fight before where, Manuel Torres just gave him a nasty fucking stepping elbow that knocked him out. Then you watch Jim Miller absolutely put this guy in the shadow realm. And, this guy's been knocked out numerous times now, right? He beat Cameron Van Camp, but okay, Cameron Van Camp to me is not UFC level. And now he faces a young, hungry, 23-year-old lion, man. Tom Nolan, listen, do I like his defensive abilities when it comes to striking? No, I think he's there to be clipped. And Motta has a chance possibly to clip him with the left hook, right? But the pace, man, the weapons this guy has, like everything, he mixes everything together. And he is absolutely a violent dude, man. He's a violent dude in there. Like, he wants to kill you. And he has a guy that can easily be killed in front of him. That's the problem here. And I just think he gets it done. The one thing I will say is, like, everybody seems to think it's round 1. I kind of feel like it might be round 2, honestly. I'm not even going to play round 3. I kind of just have a feeling that this fight extends to round. This is his first UFC fight. So we have to take that into account. A lot of guys that come and fight the first time in the UFC has some cold feet. They probably start out a little slow. It's a little different when it comes to Dana White's Contender Series because he knows he has to come out and impress Dana White. He has to come out and impress Dana White, and you go for the kill, right? And he got it. Now, he's had, a second-round knockout against this Adam Cook guy. So, can he kill Motta in round 1? Yes, but the price is just like shit. Round 2 KO, it's plus 550. It's a little, not even KO, sorry. Just round 2. Do not play KO because it's like a dollar off only. Just play round 2. It's plus 550. Who knows if he hurts Motta, and he gets a submission. You don't want to mess around. But round 2, Tom Nolan, plus 550 is how I'm going to go with this fight. I think he wins. He might have some sketchy moments, but also the guy I think is very durable, to be honest. I think he's durable. I think he's tough, and I think he has very, very good cardio. And he's long as shit, man. This guy's 6'3". So, yeah, Tim, that's a long breakdown, but Tom Nolan, round 2, plus 550.
Yeah, nothing really to add on this one. I think that Motta's kind of a broken man at this point. Just hasn't – you get a guy that just, like you said, he's like really low. He's low volume. He just wants to wing a big left hook at you. He's kind of predictable with that too. If you're on Motta, it's just like KO because he's not going to bring the volume. I don't think he wins a decision here. He just never grapples. There's just a huge size discrepancy between these guys. They look like they're at least one weight class, maybe 2 weight classes difference between them. Nolan's like 6'3" versus 5'9" and has a 3-inch reach advantage as well. I just think he's going to bring it to him. I don't disagree with you. I think the Lambo play is the 550 on round 2 instead of the plus 600 on the KO2. Not worth 50 cents for the possible club and sub. If you get like $1.50, it might be worth it, but 50 cents definitely is not worth it. So I'm with you, man. Round 2, but I think he actually bonks him early. I think he usually comes in kind of like a madman. So round 1 is probably what I would predict, but for Lambo plays, we got to do round 2. You're muted.
Can you mute your mic real quick? Let me see. Maybe it's my end or your end. Let's see what's going on. I don't know. Mushroom says they're static. The fuck is a static in the background? Somebody else said there's audio noise coming in. How do we sound now with Tim muted? Dixon, it's causing you listening on a walkie-talkie. Is it fine now? No, fucking guy Darren, zombie noises. Come on, guys. You guys now you're fucking around. All right, forget it. Let's just move on. No one's even answering me. No one even wants to hear it. All right, move on. Fight number 3. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 16-8 Weston Wilson versus the 11-2 John Silva. Tim, kick it off here for the third fight of the night.
Yeah, I think this is kind of similar to the last fight. Weston Wilson's kind of a meme fighter to me. I mean, this is kind of, he's not UFC level. These first 3 fights, there's just, you know, some guys that I just don't know that are necessarily UFC level, and I feel like this is another one. Weston Wilson he's looking, if you're on that side, I think you play him by sub round 1. It's like plus 2,900. I'm not going to do that, but I think that's his path. That's what he wants to do. He's going to try to get the fight down to the ground and just use his Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But I think that Silva is going to knock him out probably in round 1, but it's the same as the last fight. It's kind of like hope that Weston Wilson can, like, you can get that Russian ref that almost killed Benoit Saint Denis. Maybe he's reffing the fight, and we can get him to round 2 and then get Silva to knock him out in round 2. So KO2 is plus 500. I think that's the way to go.
Well, you can get round 2 at 550, just round 2.
No, just KO. Round 2. Yeah, just do that. Just do that, because he's got a good guillotine.
Round 2. Just in general. Oh, it's gone now. What the heck? Maybe it was round 2 KO. I looked at then.
Yeah, it probably was round 2 KO.
Yeah, it was round 2 KO.
What is his just round 2? It's like 3.
No, round 2 is 380. I see the best price.
That's honestly not terrible for you know, because there is a chance that he guillotines him, because I think that he's got a solid guillotine, and I feel like Wilson is going to come. He's going to try to grapple. So I feel like the KO is more. I mean, like 80. It's like 80-20 to me. I feel like that there's like a 20% chance that he guillotines him.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to play round 2, but the price is like it's poop. Weston Wilson is like a man. First of all, he shouldn't even be in the UFC. Let me just put it that way. You know, all respect to him. He's 34 years old, but this guy is not UFC level. Like, give me a break, man. Like, I don't even like when you look at this guy's resume, right, Tim? I mean, the best guy he's beat is 8-5, right? How the heck is this guy in the UFC? The best guy he's beat in his career as a pro is 8-5, and somehow this guy's in the UFC. So I guess he was being done a favor. I have no idea what the deal is here with this guy. I have no freaking clue. He wasn't even fighting on like good cards. He was fighting on Tough Enough, and he was fighting on, like, I'm looking at these organizations, Conflict, Global Legion. Like, bro, what are these fucking organizations? Anyways, okay, so they're saying DK round 2 is 450. Okay, that's a little more like it. I kind of like that too as well. I mean, 450, I think he's live for a sub. I was going to play, what I was going to say is I was going to play the sub if it was like 600. I wanted to get like 550, and I thought I'm going to get it because, you know, Weston Wilson usually gets knocked out. This guy's has a lot of power, but I've seen him, like, he's got nasty front guillotines and stuff. Like, he uses like a foot sweep, Tim. He foot sweeps you, and then he goes, the minute you're trying to get up, he goes for the guillotine, and it's really nasty. And to be honest, when I look at this guy, he looks like a mean motherfucker. I'll be honest with you. It's crazy to say, but I think I have Joe Anderson Brito vibes from this dude. He's a nasty dude, man. He literally is a nasty dude. And I feel like Weston Wilson is getting Joe Anderson Brito again here in John Silva. So I think it's probably even going to be round one, but can't play round one, dude. That line's ridiculous. So take round two plus 450. Sorry. That's how I'm going to go here. Some people have Silva decision, bro. Like I will be so shocked if Weston, if it goes to decision, guys, then you got to play Weston Wilson, man. Like, you got to play Weston Wilson. That means he's probably grappling. He's probably getting takedowns and holding him and getting his back. Like, if this is standing, he's going to get destroyed. I'm telling you guys. Whether it be to the body, his head. Like, this guy, Silva, I don't even know how in Dana White's Contender Series, how that Vallejo guy survived. Like, that kid is tough, man. I think that kid is UFC level. That Vallejo kid, but he ended up fighting this guy. Yeah, and he's at the Fighting Nerds. I love them. Like they're on like a winning streak of a lifetime. So yeah, round two, John Silva plus 450 here for me as well. Moving on, fight number 4. It is in a bantamweight division. It is the 11-0 Farid Basharat versus the 19-3 Taylor Lapilus. I like the Basharat side here, man. Like I said it earlier in the week. Like I feel like Lapilus, a lot of people are going to fall for the fake trap here as far as being value. And when I look at the fight as a whole, like Lapilus's boxing is better, but the overall striking for me is better on the Basharat side. He's got very good kicks. He knows how to manage distance very, very well. He uses his kicks to land to manage distance very well. And then he sets up his takedowns with his striking, man. The guy's really, really a smart fighter. He's a good fighter. I wasn't really too sold on this Basharat brother, but to me now, this Basharat brother seems to be better than the other one, man. This is a complete fighter. To me, he's got good striking, good distance management, good cardio, good grappling. Everything is good, man, and very good fight IQ, right? That's a complete fighter to me. Looking at these lines, like I think he wins by decision. I'll tell you guys right now. I think Basharat by decision, it's like minus 110 some spots, minus 120. I think that's how he wins, but that's not a Lambo play. I can't give you that. The one play I can give you, and this is because I think this is the path that this guy can win in, and it's a very good line. Lapilus by split is plus 1,400, okay? When you look at this is why I like this play, and I'm playing this play myself, right? The reason why I like this play is because something is wrong here. When you look at this fight and you say fight ends in split decision here, guys, is plus 350 on DraftKings, right? How the heck how is his split decision plus 1,400? Like, that makes no sense. 0 sense. So you're telling me a split for Basharat's going to be that much wider than a split? Obviously, a split is a split, so it's a close fight. Why the fuck is this guy 1,400? So Basharat split 1,400. That's how I'm going to go. I mean,
you said Lapilus split. You said Basharat there.
Huh? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Lapilus split. That's the only way I think he wins this fight. A close decision, and it's 1,400. So I like the Basharat side. I think he's going to win this fight. I think he probably wins this fight comfortably, to be honest. But the problem is when you look at the split decision as a whole, and it's 350, the value side is Lapilus by split at 1,400. It's a no-brainer. So, yeah, Tim, what do you like here?
Yeah, that line is way off compared to the end split. That you rarely see that wide. I like the Farid side as well. I actually think that he subs him late. I definitely see the decision if he plays it safe, but I think he grapples differently against guys that he's more confident that he can hold a position. Like in the Blackshear fight, he got reversed and that was a huge difference for how he fought in the second and third rounds. Like he was way more position over submission. And I think like with the Clayton Rodriguez fight, it's just like, he's just, I'm not worried at all about this guy. I'm going to pass immediately and I'm just going to sub him. So I feel like he can break him and that you might see some good defense. And I feel like Lapilus is going to be in just try to stay alive and not really going to be doing anything to sweep and do anything to really like hurt him or try to throw up any type of submission attempts from the bottom. I do think Farid, if the fight is standing for a decent amount, I think that the split is really live, like you're saying, but I just don't think that he's going to allow that to happen. I think that he'll, at worst, he'll cage push and probably get him down. He's pretty technical with his takedowns. He's not like a superb wrestler, but he's pretty technical. So I like him. Sub is plus 460. Sub, if you combine sub 2-3 on FanDuel is plus 900, and sub 2 in itself, like alone, is 1,500 and 2,200 for 3 if you just go individuals. So I think those are pretty good lines for a guy that is going to grapple, and as well as just like, I don't know, Lapilus versus a guy that like you just don't know. I don't know how he's going to react when he gets tired in this fight. I know that the cardio on Basharat is going to be, I think it's solid. So I think like he could just keep going and keep going. So I like the sub and then the late rounds for me in the sub.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, Basharat's so good, man. I really like the guy. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a really good fighter. Like, look, I played Basharat by split on 700 on Bet Online. We'll definitely play Lapilus. Yeah, I mean, 1,400 is insane. It literally is. For a plus 350, why would they make the line plus 350 by split?
Plus 700 and plus 1,400. You're like, what are they doing?
Mind-boggling. I don't understand. That's why I played it, but I honestly don't think he wins. I think Basharat wins. I think he wins maybe 30-27, 29-28 type of fight. I think he's a really good, complete fighter, man. Moving on. Fight number 5. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 8-1 Marcus McGee versus the 7-3 Gaston Bolanos. And this one is yours, Tim.
So, first of all, I think that, I mean, the line's been bet. Everybody seems to be betting McGee, but I just feel like the line is kind of weird in this fight. I do feel that McGee's the better fighter and the more well-rounded fighter, but I mean, I just feel like this he's coming off being like a decent size, like 160 or 170 to 80 range against Journey Newsom as a dog. And I think he's just fighting guys that are just not really that great. And he's won both of the fights, and so good for him. But to me, I just feel like, anytime you're with Gaston, you're fighting him. Like if you have somebody that's a predominant, like a grappler with any skills whatsoever, it's just a solid thing. I mean, he just doesn't do anything. He's a Muay Thai fighter, and he's going to throw a bunch of spinning shit, and just like he's going to put himself in a position where you can take his back off of the spinning shit or take him down off of it. But it's the only scary thing about this fight for me is like on the McGee side is like you're paying a huge price for him for the first time, as well as like you'd want him to grapple. Like obviously, I think that's the clear path, but he hasn't shown to be a real proactive grappler. He just kind of comes in and goes wild and is willing to just strike with anybody and say like, let's see who's a better striker and let's see who's a better boxer standing. So that being said, I do think that his pressure and his style will eventually break Bolanos. And I think, but I think this sub is live, and I think that the KO is live too. So I'm not going to take a shot on either one of them. I'm just going to go very basic with round 2 and round 3. It's plus 500 and plus 1,000. If you want to take a shot on the sub 2, sub 3, it's like 1,200 and 2,200, which are not bad lines. I do think that if he does grapple, or even he club and sub is live, that's how I got Journey. But I think I just feel like he's going to probably try to cook him later with pressure, and I don't want to kind of pick either one and then be pissed off that I just bet one side. So plus 500 and plus 1,000 aren't terrible. Yeah,
I mean, this is another guy in Gaston Bolanos. Like, kind of don't understand why he's in the UFC. Like, this guy lost in Bellator to mediocre, if not less than mediocre fighters. Got finished by one of them. I know he came back and beat him, but then he got cut by Bellator, and then UFC picks this guy up. Like, I know there's a backstory to this of why he got picked up, but like, dude, why is this guy in the UFC? And then he fights a guy in Aaron Phillips who's been on the shelf forever. I mean, both guys were, I guess, on the shelf for a little bit, but Aaron Phillips was on the shelf for a very, very long time. He comes back like, I don't know, was it 3 years? Let me look. 3 years later, okay? Aaron Phillips comes back 3 years, and it's an absolute very close fight. Like, Aaron Phillips taking him down, getting his back a couple of times. Like, Aaron Phillips is not even that good. You know, the guy is concentrating. He has his own gym. He's working on that. And now, you know, they give Bolanos to a guy like Marcus McGee, who I know they like. I could see from the matchmaking, they like this guy. They gave him JP Buys last time, right? A guy that has no chin. And now they're giving him a guy like Bolanos who looked, I mean, to me, it looked like shit against Phillips, right? Outside of just kicking game, Tim, I think McGee is better everywhere. He's a better grappler, has better hands, way more athletic, way better grappler, better jiu-jitsu. I mean, you name it, he's better than him. Durability, cardio, and we can go on and on and on about McGee being better everywhere. I was in the neighborhood of sub earlier in the week. I watched a little bit more tape and stuff like that, and I know Bolanos never been knocked out, and he's been subbed a couple of times. But I honestly think McGee hits very hard, man. Like, I think he has a lot of power. He's very athletic. And even if he gets a take, I kind of feel like even if he gets a takedown, he might like smash him with ground and pound too. Like, I could see that happening. So I'm going to go with the break type of method here. I think he breaks him in round 2 and 3. He's got the better cardio for me. I mean, he's much more athletic. He can mix in the wrestling. McGee, KO 2-3 is 600 on DraftKings. Again, I think that's a pretty good line. If you look at McGee's history, a lot of them are round 2, guys. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of his 8 wins are in round 2. 1 of them is in round 3. So it seems like he's a kind of guy that builds also, you know, gets a little comfortable more in the fight, and then he starts putting it on them. So I'm going to take that round 2-3 KO here at plus 600. I don't mind it. It's not the best play, but I think it's a pretty good play here, honestly. I think he's going to get Bolanos out of there. And when you look at Bolanos' who he's fought, man, it's like not many good fighters or power punchers or, I mean, nothing, you know? So this is the best fighter he's faced by a mile. So I think he's going to get it put to him and probably get finished. Moving on. Fight number 6. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 11-6 Matthew Semelsberger versus the 10-4 Preston Parsons. And I will kick this one off here. I think this line indicates how this fight's going to go. I think it's going to close fight, man. I really do. I think it's a close fight. I think Parsons probably lands some takedowns. I don't know how much he can control Semi. And on the feet, I favor Semi by a big, big margin. Split decision, Tim, is 800 on this fight. I honestly feel like, here's my take on this. For finishing equity, I have a inkling that it's like 85-15 all on Semi side. I think he gets the knockout. I don't think Parsons has much knockout equity outside of submission, right? And I don't even think his submission is very, very high because I think Semi is hard to sub, man. He's got good defense. He's a purple belt. He's not like clueless on the ground. The other thing that I like, and I played, Tim, and I normally never play these, is the draw. It's 6,600 on BetOnline. And here's the reason. When you look at Semi, he's dropping every motherfucker in every fight, but he cannot finish the fight. Can he drop Parsons and not finish him? Absolutely. Can he hurt him and he's wobbling him and he's on top but he can't finish? Absolutely. Can he also lose the next 2 rounds via grappling? Absolutely. So that's where the draw comes into play. So I like the split. I like the draw here. That's how I'm going to go. I think this fight probably goes the distance, man. I know that's not a thing according to the props, but I think this fight hits the scorecards, and I think it's close. So give me the split at plus 800 and the draw at 6,600. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think the draw is a great look actually in this fight. I think that's a fire take, but I can completely see it just from like Semelsberger, like you're saying, he's got a 3% knockdown rate, which is insane. Like one out of every 33%, 33 shots you're knocking somebody down is insane. But he also doesn't have like a ton of KOs in the UFC other than like dudes that are pretty chinny. But he's knocking everybody down. So we've been on a lot of the same ones that this card, but I actually do think that I agree with you that the difference on this feet and the different striking is just massive here. And I do think that Parsons, I don't know that Parsons is going to be able to take what Uros Medic took and what Jeremiah Wells took from Semelsberger. I mean, Semelsberger almost killed both of those guys. Like they were just legit, just hanging in there. And I think even the Wells fight, I think there was at least one or two times where I was like, this fight could have easily been stopped. If you just 50% of the rest could have easily just come in and be like, you're not able to fight anymore. And Wells fought through it and was able to get him down. That also, like, I think that Semelsberger's, like, his takedown defense isn't good, but I think that he's better than people think, jiu-jitsu wise, and just bottom game getting up. Like, I think he waits and times getting up. He doesn't waste a ton of energy, and like that can waste some time on the ground, but I think he does have good get ups when he decides to get up. But he picks his time to do it. So I think KO1 or KO2 for Matt. I like plus 400, plus 800. I think that those are good shots.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, he can hurt him. I mean, I have a feeling, like, honestly, I have a feeling he's gonna knock him down again. You know, like usual, like he does. But he just has the worst instincts to finish. I don't understand with this guy. You know, sometimes he wants to jump in guard. Sometimes he doesn't know what to do. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Make up your mind. Moving on. Fight number 7. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 34-22 Andre Arlovski versus the 10-1 Waldo Cortes-Acosta. And this one's yours, Tim.
This is just, there's a lot of these type of fights, man, where it's just like, I feel like it's murder scene fights that probably shouldn't be sanctioned. And I'm just hoping from a Lambo Plays perspective that guys can survive for 5 minutes. Waldo, here's the thing. I think it's going to be a KO. But the way that Arlovski, I actually call it the Arlovski tap now. Like if fighters go out and they just like get taken down and like they like wrap one arm and they don't have any hooks in and it's just like, and he's tapping like instantaneously. It's just like he doesn't like even remotely fight subs anymore. So I just think that the line is kind of wide for Waldo by sub, but it's maybe worth a small stab if you're into some major degen plays. But I do think it's going to be a KO. I'm hoping that Arlovski can last for a round. I think go round 2 is plus 370. Round 3 is plus 700. So same as some of the other fights earlier in the card where just last 5 minutes, please, and then maybe we can cash one of these round 2, round 3 tickets.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is the shittiest one of them all. I mean, round 2 is 350. Like, what's horrible? Fuck? I mean, I don't even want to give it, to be honest. I just think he finishes him, guys. Like, this is one of the worst ones that I don't know. I can't even find anything here, honestly. I think he finishes him. Probably round 1 or round 2. The odds suck. I don't want to even give them to you guys. I suggest you don't play them. But round 2 is plus 350. That's what I'm going to give, but it sucks, man. I'm not even playing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not playing this fight. Like from a money line, you know, it's obviously not even playable, but yeah, I'm not touching this bullshit props. The books are on this one, so it is what it is. Moving on, fight number 8. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 12-5 Phil Hawes versus the 10-1 Bruno Ferreira. I will kick this one off. I kind of feel like Phil Hawes' decision is plus 1,000. I gave this out to my Discord. I think it has some value there. I don't think it's a slam dunk. However, I do think there is some value on that play here at plus 1,000. I think this fight can go a lot of different ways, Tim. I think Ferreira round 2. I mean, I know everybody keeps saying Ferreira round 1, but why not round 2? Like, he can knock him out in round. Like, Phil's chin is bad in round 1, 2, and 3. So it doesn't matter. It could happen in round 2. The other thing I could also see is, why can't Phil finish this guy in round 2 or 3? You know, like, we don't know this guy, how good his cardio is. It's such a crazy, like, there's so many outcomes to this fight, honestly. I'm just going to give Phil Hawes' decision at plus 1,000. That's what I'm going to give. But there's a wide range of outcomes in this fight. What do you have here, Tim? You're on mute, bro. You're on mute. You've been on mute. Sorry.
Sorry. I feel like this fight is really interesting. I have written down a few different props for Phil Hawes. I thought the same thing about the decision. It's greasy as hell, but I mean, plus 1,000. I think that's definitely live. The way I'm thinking about this fight is like some fighters after their chins start to get broken, like the Cody Garbrandt factor. Like the dude changes the style completely up until the last fight against Kelleher, where he's just like, then he struck. But like the previous 2 fights, he was like, it was grapple effects. And it's like, I feel like Hawes has been training in Philly. I feel like this is a situation where he could come out. I think the wrestling advantage and the strength advantage for Hawes here are just gigantic compared to it being a 50-50 standing fight where either guy can bonk the other guy. So I don't know. It's not predictive data. It's something that we're seeing him use this in fights, but I'm just going on, a hunch here. Like that he's going to grapple a lot and that he's going to try to tire him out early. And so I'll take a shot on the sub and the late round props on the sub. So the sub is plus 950 and sub 2 is plus 3,800. Sub 3 is plus 5,000. I feel like if he does grapple and he does grapple hard, I just feel like he might have some opportunities possibly even just gas him and then just get him when super tired and sub him then. So, and if he does that, if he wrestles a lot like that, then that sets up your points as well.
I think that's the only way he subs out because Ferreira is a black belt. Like he's not a fish off the. I mean, you could see against Rodriguez, like he knows what he's doing on the ground. So the only way he's finishing, I think, with sub is if he's like death gas, right? It could happen for sure. What I will say is another thing that I saw earlier, and I gave it to everybody again. Phil Hawes over half a takedown was minus 115 on BetOnline. That's like, what? Excuse me? Like the only way it doesn't hit is if he knocks him out early or the other guy knocks him out early. Otherwise, Phil Hawes is probably going to land the takedown, So it's even money for half a takedown. I mean, it's like a no-brainer to bet that. I don't know what it is now. It went up a little bit, but it still might be a good price. It was way off the market. So, yeah, I mean, this fight is a very, very like high volatile fight, honestly. I stayed away from this fight, betting it.
Totally.
When you talk about MMA skills, Phil Hawes is like way better than this dude, but he's got no chin. I am not betting on a guy in 2024 with zero chin. He's got no chin, and he's facing a guy to me that hits like a truck. Yep. Ferreira hits very fucking hard. So I want nothing to do with Phil Hawes here. It's just a pass for me as far as money line stuff. Moving on. Fight number 9. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 20-4 Ricky Simone versus the 13-2 Mario Bautista. What do you got here, Tim?
I think this is a good fight. I like Ricky in this fight. I think that Mario Bautista has been fighting a bunch of guys that if you gave Ricky Simone them, he would murder every single one of them. And like, just like it's a biggest step up in competition for Bautista. I think he's going to get grapple fucked in this fight. One of my best cashes was on I think 16-1 on Ricky Simone by sub over Jack Shore. I just felt like this. I feel like it's kind of like the same fight. I feel like standing, I think Ricky's got more power. He's got less volume. And I just think that he's going to chain a bunch of takedowns. And I think eventually he's going to get a submission in round 2 or 3. Submission is alone. So if he gets him in round 1, it's plus 500. Combined sub 2-3 is plus 1,000 on FanDuel. I just really feel like he's got a great arm triangle setup. He pretends like he's going to get your back and then either takes your back or just takes position, side control, and then just fucks you. So he's really solid in that perspective. I also think this is his biggest step down in a while for a fight. And I just feel like Bautista doesn't have, minus like a fucking flying knee or something like that, he doesn't have like one-shot power to scare Ricky off of him. And I think that that's what you have to have. Song Yadong was a perfect example. Like he's just stopped trying to strike with him after he kept getting hit by him. I just don't think that it's the same type of power coming in on the Bautista side to really make him worry about that. How about you?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't want to say it's a huge step down, but it's a big step down. Like when you look at these guys' resumes, it's not even close. Like, Ricky Simone has fought some really good fighters, has some really good wins against really good fighters. Meanwhile, you look at Mario Bautista, and his best win that sticks out is Damon Blackshear on
and I thought he lost it
3 days notice,
yeah,
where the guy had to cut 2 weight cuts in 7 days. I mean, and then Bautista won round 3 on the scorecards. That's probably why he won. And Damon Blackshear was severely gassed in round 2. You could see it. But like, to me, what really made me like Simone in this spot is like, if Blackshear is getting 4 out of 7 takedowns against you, well, what's Ricky Simone going to do to you? A guy that doesn't stop shooting. Like, you're probably going to have to knee him, knock him out. Otherwise, you're going to get taken down 7-8 times. Like, I like Bautista's get-up game, but that just means he's going to get taken down again. The other thing is, like, I didn't even know this, honestly. I wasn't really until I looked into it. Ricky Simone's a black belt on the ground. I didn't even know that. He's a BJJ black belt, so it's not like he's lost there on the ground. Like, he knows what the fuck he's doing. So, yeah, I mean, I have a play here. Is a track play, round 2, round 3 sub. Lines went down a little. They're 19 and 24 now, but I still like him. I still think that he's going to keep grappling. He's going to keep shooting. And, we haven't really seen Bautista, outside of the Blackshear fight, where has he really been in a dogfight? Where has he been in a dogfight? I haven't seen it. And this, if it goes, to the 3rd round, it's going to be a dogfight, man. And, I think Ricky Simone is way better in a dogfight than Mario Bautista. So, yeah, round 2, round 3 sub here. I like it. I think it has a chance of hitting, most likely goes to decision. But these lines, again, we're betting lines, and these lines to me seem like they're a little too big. And so I'm going to bet them. Moving on, fight number 10. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 36-17 Jim Miller versus the 23-10 Gabriel Bonitz. And I can kick this one off here. Co-main event. I think it's a close fight, man. I really do think this is a close fight. Everybody I've been listening to and their mothers is on Jim Miller. I haven't heard a single soul on Gabriel Bonitz. And here we are in 2024, and Jim Miller is 40 years old. This motherfucker keeps going. He's looked decent. I mean, I'll give him that. He's looked decent. He's got decent hands. He's got very good grappling when he gets the fight to the ground. But, that's just something he hasn't been doing of late. He's fallen in love. He's fell in love with his hands. Don't get it mistaken. he fell in love with his hands and he's getting knockouts and, you know, he's all amped up with the knockouts. But you know what's crazy, Tim? And kind of wrote this down here with Jim Miller. I think he has 7 or 8 total knockouts in his career, right? 3 of them have been like recently. He's not a knockout guy. Yeah. But lately, he's fell in love with his hands. He's just chucking bombs. And he's also, to be honest, facing guys that probably shouldn't be in the UFC. Jesse Butler, Eric Gonzalez, Nicholas Motta, who we just talked about his chin, and the ghost of Donald Cerrone. Those are his last 4 wins. Guys that are probably shouldn't be in the UFC. The thing that's different with Gabriel Bonitz and those guys is Gabriel Bonitz's striking is very fucking good. He's got a lot of power. He digs to the body very hard, and he has vicious leg kicks. And I played Bonitz at plus 130. And the reasoning is southpaw versus southpaw. He's going to be there to chew up. I mean, he's going to chew up Miller's leg. I know Miller has kicks, but listen, the kicks from Bonitz are different. They say in his gym that he kicked harder than Luke Rockhold, who is a fucking vicious kicker. This guy kicked harder than him, and he's a 55er. He kicks very hard, and he's going to absolutely destroy Jim Miller's leg if Jim Miller decides to stand with this dude. And, you know, Bonitz's chin is not very good, but he's also getting iced by guys that hit it. I mean, you know, when you look at David Onama, he's a young, hungry lion. Like, this guy hits very fucking hard. Like, we just saw it against that guy that nobody could knock out. Like, that Santos guy who had a granite chin. Guess what? Onama put him out. Like, he hits hard, man. And, you know, the Billy Q fight, he kind of just broke him, right? He broke him in that fight.
He breaks everything.
But he dropped Billy Q in that fight. He hurt Onama extremely bad in round 1 in that fight. You know, so it's like, why is everybody falling in love with Miller here? I don't know if it's the recent streak. I don't really see it. I don't think he should be a big favorite like he is now. He's up to like minus 160. I think his fight's going to go to distance, believe it or not. I have a feeling, an inkling that it will. And split is plus 900. God and damn. If it does go to distance, I think it's probably standing. They probably both survive some like wobble scene and shit like that. So give me the split at plus 900 here. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Can they both get finished? Yes. But I think this might hit the scorecards plus 900 on the split.
I thought I was going to be on the fire take on this one, man. I thought I was going to be on that fire take. This is the same thing, man. I thought end split plus 900, Gabe by points is kind of a stupid plus 550. I think Jim is tough to finish. I mean, is it possible that he can finish him? Yeah, but it's like, I just think he's tough. I also think that both guys can gas a little bit and are older. And it could be like round 1 could be pretty fire. And then rounds 2, 3 could be a slobber knocker. Gabe by split is 1,800. I mean, those would be the 3 that I would take shots at. I just think he's a better striker. I don't think that Jim proactively grapples anymore because when he does, he gets gassed. He gasses even worse. So I agree with everything you said, man. I think that there's a good chance that this fight goes, especially if it gets out of round 1. I just feel like both these guys could get really tired and it could get close.
I feel like Mowgli has better cardio, to be honest. Like watching their tape, I think he has better cardio. But Jim Miller, transparency here. I read an article with Jim Miller saying that he knows how dangerous Mowgli is on the feet, so he's going to wrestle because he's the way better grappler. That's what Jim Miller said. So do with it what you may. That's what he said in an article.
If that's the case, then I would think that sub 1 and sub 2 are very, very live for Miller then.
But here's the thing.
But I don't know that he does. I
also think that he knows he gets very tired when it comes to grappling.
Totally.
That's why he probably doesn't do it anymore. Like
let's
just say this. He's not a good wrestler. He's a shit wrestler. He can't really wrestle. So it's like he goes for takedowns and he gets stuffed, and now he's tired. Now what? You know?
Yeah,
right?
I'm with you 100%. I think that was what I was saying in the breakdown. I feel like he doesn't do it for that exact reason, but if he does, like if he is in the mode of I've got 7.5, 8 minutes to do this, and I don't care if I don't get it, I'm going to die. I do think that he could get him down, and I do think that his squeeze is elite. So I mean that, you know.
I mean, he has he's got a big edge on the ground, huge.
Yeah.
So if he gets it there,
he even can standing guillotine him. He's caught guys in that before too, where he can
get his back standing. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. 148 in here. Thank you very, very much, each and every one of you guys. Hit the like down below, please, if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, you probably all have, but hit that notification button so you guys know when we go live here on my channel. And with that being said, we will move on to the main event of the night, and it is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 18-1-1 Magomed Ankalaev versus the 21-7 Johnny Walker. This is the rematch, Tim. What do you have, and what do you see here in this rematch?
So I think that Magomed, I was going back and forth on this. It's just you really don't know what this dude's going to do. I mean, he can fight, really kind of do nothing and fuck all in fights and just coast, standing, do nothing, not try to go for takedowns, like in the Yan fight. And then you're like, why are you doing anything? I think it's also you have on the other side with Walker, you know, he's a Jekyll and Hyde type fighter as well. Sometimes he comes out guns blazing, but his last 3 or 4 fights, he's been kick heavy and just staying at range. So both these guys, you really don't have a consistent read on what they're going to do in each fight. I think the last time I was going for I think it was a 3-round fight last time? I think so, right? Yeah, I feel like this being 5 rounds is the finishing upside for Magomed, I think, goes up tremendously. So I like rounds 3, 4, 5. I think that if he gets him later in the fight, but I also don't hate the submission prop for him. Like I know that he hasn't done much, but I do feel like the takedowns, if he does go for takedowns against him, I do feel like he might have an opportunity to sub Walker. Walker is a big guy, obviously, but I do think that the takedowns will be there. Last fight, he did a flying knee, which got him set up for the takedown. I think he's going to throw some kicks, which could be caught. Just in general, I think Ankalaev is typically risk averse. So I think the easiest way to win this fight is to consistently get him down. Whether or not he ground and pounds him, or whether or not he subs him, or whether or not he does nothing and wins a decision, I'm really not super confident, honestly. So I'm not going to put a big bet on this fight just for those reasons. But I'll take the 3, 4, 5, 800, 1,000, and 1,600. And the sub 3, 4, 5 is plus 3,200. So just might take a little small stab at that.
Yeah. I think he finishes him probably later, honestly. There's really not much to say here. I think Walker is extremely dangerous early. I do think Ankalaev will use some grappling to kind of slow him down, get that power out of him, get him a little tired where he's not as explosive. And then I think he's going to actually ground and pound him, man. I think it's going to come later. The lines, man, books are on it, dude. They suck. 3, 4, 5 KO is 360. Like, what do they know? Huh?
That's terrible.
What do they know, dude? Like, what kind of lines are these? Like, I was thinking I'm going to get like 600, 700. It's 3, 4, 5. It's later in the fight. No, plus 360 on 3, 4, 5. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like that's what I see, man. I think he finishes him later. This is just how I see the fight going. Where Walker gets tired, and that's where he eventually finishes him. So, I think it could be a little dicey in round 1, if it's standing for long. But again, I think Ankalaev is going to use takedowns, man. If he's smart, he's the better striker. Ankalaev's the better striker by a mile. But I just don't think he carries like crazy power on the feet. Meanwhile, Walker has power on the feet. Like, he's got these explosive knees and shit that he can knock him out with. And we've seen Ankalaev hurt before. It's not like this guy can't get hurt. So I'm just going to give out Ankalaev 345 KO. It's 360. That's how I see it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I do think that, Johnny Walker's grappling is a little underrated because I watched a Krylov fight, man, and he was not doing bad in that fight. And Krylov, to me, is a way better grappler and submission grappler than Ankalaev is. So 345 KO plus 360 for that fight there. And that will do it. All 11 fights. We lost one fight, obviously. What's left, Tim? Lambo parlays?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. You started off here.
All right, I got two. One is a bigger one than the other. Got Ricky by sub and Farid by sub is 33-1. And then if you just do the sub 2-3 on both of them, it's 109-1. I think that both could potentially get late subs, and don't hate that at all.
All right. I don't mind that either. I'm going to go a different route with KOs, and I'm going to go the Van 2-3 KO and the McGee 2-3 KO. It's 37-1. It's just something I looked at and I thought, it's a big possibility. Both guys can finish later in the fights. I think both guys have the cardio edge on their opponents. So I kind of like attacking those kind of props where the cardio edge is favored on one side. And I think both guys do carry the power to knock their opponent out. So 37-1, Van KO 2-3, and McGee KO 2-3. That will do it, guys. 11 fights, 2 Lambo parlays, 151 people in here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very, very much. Also, guys, one last time, down below, link is there for my Discord and all my plays. It's all going to be behind the paywall. It's $25 a month. My live spaces is going to be in there. Tim is in there. Sean is in there. So we're going to be doing live spaces tomorrow in my Discord. Appreciate each and every one of you. Again, 152 of you in here. Thank you very, very much. See you guys tomorrow if you're in my Discord. If not, I will check you guys out on Twitter. Thank you very, very much again. Have a great night. And one last thing, let's fucking cash those tickets for UFC Vegas 84.